Hello, everyone. This is Southern Belle Whisper. I hope you all are doing well today. I'll be trying to look at the camera in this video. You guys just make me so nervous. I know I should be that way, but it's okay. So today, I thought I would make another video for you guys to kind of get over this little 3-day work schedule that I'm on. I work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but I'm off for 3 days. So that will be nice. So I thought, I've been thinking all morning what I could do for you guys. And I was making my cup of hot tea for the morning. And I was like, what is something I could talk about that will get them through this little hump? And I was like, what better thing than books? Oh, it's beautiful. It's been a little cooler ever since the tropical storm rolled through here. It's been a lot less humid outside, thank God. But what was I saying? Sorry, I got on a little tangent there. But I was thinking to myself, I want to do something a little different. I want to do something that I haven't really seen before in ASMR videos. And that is my top 10 books that if for some reason I had to move away and I could only take 10 books with me, or if I had to go to a desert island and I could only take 10 books with me, if I had to go on a vacation and I could only take 10 books with me. So I picked out 10 books. I have 8 books here, but then there's also 2 books that I don't have with me at the moment, unfortunately. But this was very hard to choose, you guys, because the books on my shelf, I love all of them. I don't keep any book that I don't like. I just give it away or I donate it. But every book on my shelf I absolutely adore. And it was really hard to choose. But I think I did good. I'm starting to rethink things. So if I don't get started with this video, then we wouldn't be here all day. But let's get started. So the first one is a book that I read this year after hearing. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit. There we go. That's better. This is a book that I read this year after hearing so much about it. This is The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hill by Robert Ducati. On the back it says, I will lay it down and tap, it's easier that way. His mother promised he would live an extraordinary life. It's time he finds out for himself. Sam Hill always saw the world through different eyes. Born with red pupils, he was called Devil Boy by his classmates. God's will is what his mother called his ocular albinism. Her words were of little comfort, but Sam persevered, buoyed by his mother's devout faith, his father's practical wisdom, and his 2 other misfit friends. Sam believed it was God who sent Ernie Cantwell, the only African-American kid in his class, to be the friend he so desperately needed. And that was God's idea for Mickey Kennedy to storm into Our Lady of Mercy like a tornado, uprooting every rule Sam had been taught about boys and girls. 40 years later, Sam, a small town eye doctor, is no longer certain anything was by design, especially not the tragedy that caused him to turn his back on his friends, his hometown, and the life he'd always known. Running from the pain, eyes closed, served little purpose. Now, As he looks back on his life, Sam embarks on a journey that will take him halfway around the world. This time, his eyes are wide open, bringing into clear view what changed him, defined him, and made him so afraid until he can finally see what truly matters. This is a great book about a mother's love, faith, hope, tragedy, love, all the good emotions that you want to feel when you read a wonderful book. It's just so good. Like I told you guys, I read this book in 3 days. Everybody on my little forum was like, you read that book in 3 days. And yes, I did. It's just one of those books I'm glad to reread. So good. So good. I'm glad I took a chance on it. I'll wait until a book comes out in paperback because I'm not a big hardback fan. But I know a lot of people are like that. This was a wonderful, beautiful book. Beautiful. I think it needs to be on the list of books that you should read before you die. Oh, okay. A funny story about this book. I wanted to include this book because let me take a drink of tea first. This is my favorite coffee cup, you guys. It has the dough from Harry Potter, and it says always. That will probably be one of my tattoos one day if I ever get a tattoo. It just signifies so much to me. I love this cup. I got this for Secret Santa from my boss. I had to know because he not only got me this cup, but he got me bookmarks, Harry Potter bookmarks. But this cup, I will treasure this cup forever. If it ever breaks, I won't cry. It's supposed to light up when the tea is hot. But considering the last time I tried to film this video, my husband walked in, so I'm redoing it now. But I love this cup. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Funny story about this book is back in because I know people are wondering, she's a New Orleans Saints fan and she's not from New Orleans, so you are questioning yourselves. You're like, I was pretty sure she's from West Virginia. Back in the 1970s, my father went to a Saints game. I think there's a bookmark. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. This is the funniest thing. I did not know that bookmark was in here. I'm sorry. I believe in little God winks. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been a little bit depressed. It's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my brother's passing, and then my doggy's passing. And I really, really trying to be happy this year, though, because it's my favorite time of year. I really needed to see this bookmark in the worst way. It's like a little God wink. My goodness. I'll show it to you guys in a second. But anyways. Anyways, back in the 1970s, my dad went to a Saints game with his brother. But at the time, the Saints sucked. I think that was the year that they went 16-0 or 0-16. I think it's 0-16. and everybody was like, they suck, paper bags over their heads, just like nasty. So that day that they lost, of course, my dad looked at his brother and he said, I'm going to root for the Saints from this day forward. My children will root for the Saints. And one day they are going to come back and they are going to win the whole thing. And this is the man that brought the Nala Nation and Saints fan all over the world a championship. This Drew Brees is the best quarterback the Saints ever had. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Derek Carr does this year, though. But I love me some Drew Brees. The back says, so it's called Coming Back Stronger by Drew Brees. The back says, in the aftermath of one of the most devastating natural disasters in U.S. history, the city of New Orleans needed a hero. After Hurricane Katrina ravaged the Gulf Coast in 2005, the residents of New Orleans desperately needed something, anything to believe in. And after being told he might never play football again due to a horrific shoulder injury, quarterback Drew Brees needed a team that believed he could still play and win. What happened next is nothing short of providential. Drew signed with the New Orleans Saints and immediately set to work rebuilding not only his own career but the city of New Orleans as well. 4 years later, he led the Saints to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. A true inspiration on and off the field, Drew has become a symbol of hope, not just to the team and the city he helped resurrect, but to everyone who has ever been knocked to the ground. Drew's invaluable insights on unleashing the hidden power of adversity are proof positive that with enough faith, determination, and heart, you can overcome anything. Such a great book about perseverance and just looking the world in the face and saying, I will make it. I will persevere. I will get there. And I'm going to come back stronger, which is why it's called Coming Back Stronger. I've read this book a few times. It's just, he was something else. He really was. We still see him a lot. I think he's a sports broadcaster now. So I still get to see him every now and then. I'm going to show you guys the bookmark that was in here. And this is actually one of my top 10 that I do not have. I probably have it on the shelf. I don't know why. I didn't pick it up. I didn't see it right off the bat, but this is my Fault in Our Stars bookmark that I thought I lost. And it says some infinities are bigger than other infinities. The Fault in Our Stars will always have a special place in my heart, the book and the movie. I saw the movie on my honeymoon, and then I read the book multiple times, and it broke my heart so bad. Just one of those love stories that breaks your heart like Titanic. I will never get over the death of Augustus Waters. And I'm pretty sure this is one of his quotes. So I need to put that in a special place so I do not lose it again. Okay, this is my favorite memoir. This is A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. When I went to college, I took a couple courses in college before I was accepted into the CNA program. I found this book at the library there at the college, and it was the cover, or it was the spine that caught my attention first, because the color. I was like, I love that cover, and then I pulled the book out, and I was like, oh. If you don't see, there's sprinkles everywhere on the cover. But then you read the back. The heart-wrenching, uplifting tale of a woman named Cupcake. There are shelves of memoirs about overcoming the death of a parent, childhood abuse, rape, drug addiction, miscarriage, alcoholism, hustling, gangbanging, near-death injuries, drug dealing, prostitution, and homelessness. Cupcake Brown survived all these things before she'd even turned 20. And that's when things got interesting. Orphaned by the death of her mother and left in the hands of a sadistic foster parent, young Cupcake Brown learned to survive by turning tricks, downing hard liquor, and ingesting every drug she could find while hitchhiking up and down the California coast. She stumbled into gangbanging, drug dealing, hustling, prostitution, theft, and eventually the best scam of all, a series of 9-to-5 jobs. A Piece of Cake is unlike any memoir you ever read. Moving in its frankness, this is the most satisfying, startling, funny, and gently affecting tour through hell you'll ever take. This book, it was just one of those books that changed my life. And it really made me realize that just because someone is struggling with drugs doesn't mean they're a bad person. I don't struggle with drugs, just in case you are wondering. I know some people are probably wondering, why is our nose always red? No, I do not struggle. My husband is a recovering drug addict, not me. So, I just want you guys to know that I do like to smoke. No, not cigarettes. I think it's been about 5 months now since I quit smoking cigarettes. So, I do like to smoke. It really helps my anxiety, and it's going to become legal anyways. But anyways, it just made me realize that just because somebody has an addiction, it can be any addiction, doesn't mean they're a bad person. And it's just another good book about perseverance and divine intervention. And she's so funny. Cupcake Brown is so funny. I actually have her on my Facebook. Still, I've talked to her. And I felt like I was talking to a real, not real, but it felt like I was talking to a real popular author. Because not many people know about this book, and I wish they did. This book is also special to me now because this is the last book that I suggested to Madison Moon ASMR before she passed. And she actually showed it in one of her last videos. I don't know if she ever got to read it, but it made me feel so special that she trusted my suggestion. Wonderful book. Okay. The next one is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. You guys know I love Harry Potter. This is my favorite book of the whole series. For 12 long years, the dread fortress of Azkaban held an infamous prisoner named Sirius Black. Convicted of killing 13 people with a single curse, he was said to be the heir apparent to the Dark Lord Voldemort. Now he is extinct, leaving only 2 clues as to where he might be headed. Harry Potter's defeat of the You-Know-Who was Black's downfall as well, and the Azkaban guards heard Black muttering in his sleep, "He's Harry Potter isn't safe, not within the walls of his magical school, surrounded by his friends, because on top of it all, there may well be a traitor in their midst. This series changed my life. I love Harry Potter. I read them every year. I usually start this month, but I thought I would wait until October. I was reading this book when my brother passed, and it just brought me so much comfort at that time. And it's just such a great series. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My children will read this series one day if I ever have children. Okay, hold on one second, you guys. I swear I am still dealing with all this sinus stuff. Do you see these bags under my eyes? I get great sleep, okay? This is sinus right here. There's nothing I can do about it. I've tried everything. This has just been a really bad year for sinus stuff. But yes, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Nothing like it. One of my recent favorite fantasy series. And it breaks my heart that I can't take the whole thing. And that goes for Harry Potter too. But this is my favorite of the series of the Court of Thorns and Roses series. This is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I'm actually reading Crescent City series right now. I'm going to be honest with you, it was a little hard to get into at first because it's adult fantasy. So I need to get some of those like little post-its that somebody at work told me about when I don't understand a name or a person. But I'm really into it now. I'm really into the story now. And I love Sarah J. Maas. She is one of my recent favorite authors. But on the back it says, Feyre has undergone more trials than one human woman can carry in her heart. Though she's now been granted the powers and lifespan of the High Fae, she is haunted by her time under the mountain and the terrible deeds she performed to save the lives of Tamlin and his people. As her marriage to Tamlin approaches, Feyre's hollowness and nightmares consume her. She finds herself split into two different people, one who upholds her bargain with Rhysand, High Lord of the Fear Night Court, and one who lives out her life in the Spring Court with Tamlin. While Feyre navigates a dark web of politics, passion, and dazzling power, a greater evil looms. She might just be the key to stopping it, but only if she can harness her harrowing gifts, heal her fractured soul, and decide how she wishes to shape her future and the future of a world in turmoil. I love fantasy, you guys. I've realized I love fantasy. Another good fantasy book that I would like to have I included 10 books on my list yet. Got 8 here. No, because I only mentioned Fault in Our Stars, right? So I have one more book. And that is The Sugar Queen by Sarah Addison Allen. I think that would be considered fantasy. That is a beautiful, beautiful book. That is one of my favorite fantasy books. If you've never read it, not many people have heard of it. They've heard of like Garden Spells. Sarah Addison Allen is a beautiful writer, but not many people know about The Sugar Queen. And I had a copy, but I lost it. But anyways, I definitely recommend the Court of Thorns and Roses series. And I know Wings and Ruin is very hard to get through, but get through it. Don't DNF it quite yet. Not this one, but the next one. Don't DNF it yet. Just get through it and get on to the last 2 books because amazing series. I love this book because it's one of my favorite rom-coms. I always thought that they were going to make a movie about this because this is the sequel to the book Something Borrowed by Emily Giffin. I really wanted a movie to this book though. It's Something Blue, and it's the sequel to Something Borrowed. On the back it says, Darcy Roan has always been able to rely on a few things: her beauty and charm, her fiancé Dex, her lifelong best friend Rachel. She never needed anything else, or so she thinks, until Dex calls off their dream wedding and she uncovers the ultimate betrayal. Blaming everyone but herself, Darcy flees to London and attempts to recreate her glamorous life on a new continent. But to her dismay, she discovers that her tried and true tricks no longer apply and that her luck has finally expired. It is only then that she can begin her journey toward redemption, forgiveness, and true love. It's like an enemies to lovers book. It's so good. It's so satisfying to see how spoiled she is in the beginning. But then as the book goes on, and you see her the change in herself and what matters most, it's just very satisfying. It's very funny, very heartwarming. It's just, Emily Giffin is a wonderful, wonderful author. She's one of my favorites. But this is one of my favorite books. Another author that's kind of like Emily Giffin, now that I think about it, is Sophie Kinsella. This book, I don't know if it's the exact copy, but this book I've had forever. It's my favorite Sophie Kinsella book, and it's another rom-com, kinda. That's more like, it makes you realize that you can have the best of everything in life, but if you don't have love, you're not going to be happy. So I'm going to read that back to you. When 28-year-old Lexi Smart wakes up in a London hospital, she's in for a big surprise. Her teeth are perfect, her body is toned, her handbag is Vuitton. Having survived a car accident in a Mercedes, no less, Lexi has lost a big chunk of her memory, 3 years to be exact, and she's about to find out just how much things have changed. Somehow Lexi's gone from being a 25-year-old working girl to being a corporate big shot with a sleek new loft, a personal assistant, a car-free diet, and a set of glamorous new friends. And who is this gorgeous husband who also happens to be a multi-millionaire? With her mind still stuck 3 years in the past, Lexi greets this brave new world determined to be the person she, seems to be. That is until an adorably disheveled architect drops the biggest bombshell of all. Suddenly, Lexi is scrambling to catch her balance. Her new life, it turns out, comes complete with secret schemes and intrigue. How on earth did all this happen? Will she ever remember? And what will happen when she does? Such a good book. So funny. I love Lexi Smart. She's such a great character. It's so good. And I love the sunflower on this cover. Sunflowers are my favorite flower. It's so pretty. Okay. Before I share this last book, I know that Tranquil ASMR mentioned me in her recent video, but I'm sorry, girl, I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. Last night I ate dinner and I just passed out cold, natural sleep. But I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. But thank you, Tranquil ASMR is one of my favorite ASMR artists, and I just want that to be known. I love her book, Show and Tells. She's one of my favorites. She's on my list of favorite book trigger ASMR artists. And thank God I'm getting my hearing back again. Oh my God. Because she's one of the ASMRs that has more of a soft ASMR voice, and until recently I hadn't been able to hear her, and it was so annoying. But thank you. Hopefully tomorrow when I get off of work, I can listen to it. I'm sure she said nice things. I'm sure she did. Somebody needs to put like a timestamp on that video or something, so I can just at least hear what she said about me. It's okay. Okay, this is another one that I read this year, and that is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I had been just another book that I had heard so much about, and this is another one that I literally devoured. I love books about redemption and I wouldn't say hardships, but the beauty after hardships, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But this book is so worth the hype. I know it's a big boy, but I literally devoured it in like a week, maybe 2. It says, Demon Copperhead is the story of a boy born to a teenage single mother with no assets but beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair, a caustic wit, and a fierce talent for survival. In a plot that never pauses for breath, relayed in his own uninspiring voice, Demon raised the modern perils of foster care, child labor, addiction, disastrous loves, and crushing losses. Through all of it, he reckons with his own invisibility in a popular culture where even the superheroes have abandoned royal people in favor of cities. Many generations ago, Charles Dickens wrote David Copperfield from his experience as a survivor of institutional poverty and its damages to children in its society. Those problems have yet to be solved in ours. In transposing his epic novel to our own place and time, Kingsolver has enlisted his anger and compassion, and above all, his faith in the transformative powers of a good story. Demon Copperhead speaks for a new generation of lost boys and all those born in beautiful crushed places they can't imagine leaving behind. This book is probably, it's one of my all-time favorites. I know that. It's one of those books I'll have to reread because it's just, it hits a part of your soul, especially when you kind of relate to it, you know? Because I've literally been around addiction my whole life. I've been around it my whole life. And I've seen how it can break families apart and gives you trust issues and breaks your heart. This month was today the 2nd. This month will be 2 years since my husband's overdosed, where I literally had to save his life. And don't y'all think for 1 second that I didn't think to myself, this human side of myself that I didn't think, what's the point? That part of myself that I said, what's the point? He's just going to wake up and he's going to go back to that next opiate. And I had seen him in a very, very dark place where he was not the man that I fell in love with at all. And it's something that's going around more and more, opiate addiction and pills laced with fentanyl, which almost killed my husband. Killed three of his best friends. Fentanyl. So I relate to stories like this. I just do. And it makes a part of me realize, it makes a part of me go, I get it now. I get it. You know, when you're people that have past drug addictions say you just don't get it. You just don't get it because you've never had an addiction before. And when I read books like this, it makes me go, okay, I get it. I get it now. So, this book is wonderful. And then, this is not on the list. This is like a runner-up. No, not like a runner-up, but special mention was a book I recently finished. And that is The Four Winds by Christine Hanna. Oh my gosh, you guys. I wish I had it with me so I could show you guys. I saw it mentioned a lot, and I love Christine Hanna. I love her writing. She writes a lot of historical fiction now, and I love it. I love historical fiction. But I read The Four Winds, and that was set in the 1930s in Texas. 1930s Texas during the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. Oh my gosh, that book is very, very intense, though it's not really a happy book. It just opens your eyes because, you know, they teach you about, you know, that stuff, that tragedy in U.S. history. But when you read it on paper and you read it in a book, it makes it so much difference. I mean, it puts you there, and oh my goodness, I think everybody needs to read that book. It was heartbreaking. I cried. I finished at work and I literally cried. So get your tissues ready. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you guys.